So welcome to tonight's EU Hustings at Lakeside, North Harbour, which is being hosted by the News and Verisona Law. And joining us tonight are a panel of experts and political enthusiasts who will be able to help answer your questions and address the topics surrounding the referendum.
Why would we want to break up a relationship that we've had with the rest of the European Union countries for 43 years? Particularly at a time when the European economy and the world economy is quite fragile. Because at the heart of the European Union, the EC, is trade. It's about free trade. It's about having a single market. And a single market is more than just no customs barriers. It's about making sure that there is a level playing field for us to trade, which means that rules that affect work, for example, product standards, safety standards, all these match as well. So to have a truly single market, we've got to have some shared decision making. And why would we want to change that now? If we leave, companies will still trade with the EU and they will have to abide by the rules. So the companies that currently do that will still have to abide by those rules. They won't get out of them. So there's going to be an issue there. And I suppose the second reason why I would feel we want to stay is because the world's getting more complicated. It's much more difficult for individual countries and individual governments to solve some of the key problems that we are facing. Look at the migrant crisis, look at climate issues, look at environmental issues. So we have to cooperate. It's not easy getting 28 member countries to cooperate and work together. And sometimes it's very frustrating, but we've got to do it because that, I think, is the only way we can make real progress.
I deal with a lot of businesses on a daily basis and talk to them about what their experiences are and what they're hoping for in the future. And overwhelmingly, businesses say to me that being in Europe has been good for them. And most importantly of all, they want to avoid the uncertainty that will come should there be an exit vote. Uncertainty is something that kills businesses. It stops people spending money, stops people making orders because they don't know what the future will hold. Some businesses that I talk to have already experienced this when we had the general election last year, and now we've got this referendum, and they're seeing a slowdown as a result. If there's a vote to exit, they can only see that going on for years to come.
I am sufficiently old that I actually worked in the first referendum for the inside, and I haven't changed my opinions. I am in on matters of principle and pragmatism. On principle, I think you need governments or arrangements at all the right levels. You need it internationally for things like global warming. You need it regionally, so Europe, North America, Southeast Asia. You need regional setups for trade and industry to prosper. I think you have to have a national government which will deal with such things as railways and the health service. And of course you need local government to do bins and make sure that the buses run on time. That's the principle. I think we need those four levels. Pragmatically, I'm a free trader. I've always believed that free trade is the way in which businesses can grow, industry can grow, commerce can grow. And modern free trade is not just a matter of no tariffs. It's a matter of the free flow of goods. It's a matter of the free flowing of money. And it is also a matter of the free flowing of people, of skilled labour around these areas, these big regional areas. And so both on a matter of principle and pragmatics, I'm for in.
I work for a trade union called Prospect. Prospect are politically non-affiliated and haven't come out on either side, but the vast proportion of the trade union movement are supporting staying in the European Union. And the vast proportion of the companies that we negotiate with also wish to remain, or wish the country to remain, a member of the European Union. And I think that shows you a combination of principle and pragmatism. That from a trade union perspective, we support working together, working across borders, protecting the interest of workers, not just here, but internationally. But we also support thriving businesses as well. And what we don't want to see is that period of economic uncertainty that was spoken about before, and our members losing their jobs. As a local politician, I'm also concerned about the impact on the real economy and then the impact on the local council in terms of the resources available. We have had a number of years of severe cuts to vital public services in this city. The council leader has even written to the Chancellor saying it can't go on and has to change. The last thing we need as a local council is an economic downturn that further exacerbates the resources or the lack of resources that are available and then exacerbates the cuts to those vital services.
From a business point of view, however, it's really about commercial competitiveness. And there are a couple of main areas where I find that it doesn't really work for us as a business. First of all, I would say it's about regulation, which is that we as an aviation company, we are the UK's, in spite of what was said earlier by Miles, thank you very much, we're actually the UK's only commercial aircraft manufacturer, which will surprise a lot of people here because we have a thriving aviation industry. And in fact, Donna asked me earlier, you know, what about Boeing, American company? What about Finmeccanica Helicopters in Yeovil, Italian company? You know, when it comes to being a British company, making the entire aircraft from aluminium through to a flying object, we're it. And that's surprising because we have a very rich tradition of aviation in this country, all of which has in effect been progressively regulated out. So regulation absolutely destroys competitiveness at many levels, whether it be from EASA and which is the major European regulating body, or right down to sort of environmental matters such as REACH. All of these things affect our competitiveness because we, as a company, are selling to a worldwide market where, frankly, nobody else cares about European regulation. They don't want to be burdened by the cost of it. What they want is a safe product that will operate effectively in their part of the world.
The EU is totally unreformable. Don't let people try and kid you that the EU is reformable, because it's not. It's run by a select few. They're very well paid, they're very well looked after, they earn fantastic salaries, and it is totally unreformable. People, they want the status quo. They want things to remain as they are. And just very quickly, because I know I've only got 1 minute, but as far as trade goes, there are over 180 countries in the world, and 27 of them, plus ourselves, are in the European Union. The average World Trade Organization tariff on goods is 2.5%. America's our biggest trading partner, individual country. The average trading tariffs with America are 3%. It's nothing. We have come under so many restrictions to trade with the rest of the world by being part of the EU that it is just not worth it anymore.
Where do we see ourselves in 50 years' time? Because we have a choice. Do we take back control and reposition ourselves looking outward towards the rest of the world, or do we stay on this train that's heading in a direction and to a destination that the overwhelming majority of the British public don't want to go to? And that is a European federal superstate. That is the fundamental question. We have the opportunity on the 23rd of June to take back control of our economy, our laws, and our borders.
We also have the 5th largest economy in the world. Why is that? That comes from the strength of our industrial revolution over 100 years ago, and we're still trading off the back of our success when we were outside of the European Union. We have one of the most respected democracies and justice systems in the world. Other countries have based their constitution, their democratic processes and their justice systems on the British Constitution. So why do we want to give that away to 5 unelected European presidents? Our A&E department can't cope. I'm the leader of Portsmouth City Council, so as you would expect, my overwhelming passion and focus is on the people of this city that I really care for. Our A&E department has ambulances queuing up. Britain has to build 240 houses a day to keep up with our current population growth. We've got 88 million people on the verge of joining the European Union. They live in Turkey, Albania, Macedonia, Montenegro and Serbia. Do we want another 88 million people on top of the 450 existing million people that live in the European Union to be able to travel freely to this country? Because trust me, they'll be coming through Germany and Italy and Spain and France to get to Britain because of our sophisticated benefit system and because of our sophisticated National Health Service. So, in essence, I'm voting to leave the European Union because I have complete confidence in Britain to rule ourselves.